Yeah, Jake got money.
All right, Jake, good seeing you, man.
Yeah, man.
You say no.
See you soon.
My hands wet from watching it, so.
You go out.
That's it right now. Okay. The leaders know. Yeah, I know Jake.
Jake Party Poop.
Party Pooper Jake.
Party Pooper Jake.
I give a ride home, Joseph.
Huh?
I was just joking.
He's not even think about that. Don't you want to ride home though?
Huh?
You want to ride home?
No, I'm just saying he like.
If you don't want to stay, you don't gotta stay. If you want to stay, you can.
No, I actually wanted to stay, but I actually had something to go.
We ain't talking about you.
7:30.
I know, we ain't talking about you. We talking about Joseph. We know you gotta go. You want to stay, you can stay if you want to. You gotta ride home. It's up to you, man. You can stay, you can go. Ain't nobody forcing, ain't no pressure, man.
Yeah, you got that gun in your head. You're like,
Yeah, I'm gonna stay, man.
Right.
I appreciate it.
All right, yeah, I'm about to take out.
hey, we good? We rolling?
Yeah, y'all actually supposed to be going, so they just heard our whole conversation. That's all good, though. They know we
I guess somebody got hit.
So go ahead and get started, bro.
The start clock.
I really do want to stay.
Yeah, like I roll with him.
All right, sisters and brothers, we're gonna get into the lesson. Brother Nate did an excellent job. Brother Jediah, he also did an excellent job. And you know, Brother Nate went from identifying Israel as color. Jediah identified Israel as the priest nation. And I'm gonna put these curses on these people. You know what I mean? Because this is also another identification card of this nation of people. You know what I mean? You can't identify people until you actually got to identify the curse that they all sit up under. You know, everybody, especially Israel, you know, we all blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? But nobody never deal with the other side of the coin, which is the curse. You know, of course, you, like Jay-Z said, you got the gift and the curse. You know what I mean? So the only way you're going to receive a gift unless you keeping these commandments. You know what I mean? But outside of these commandments comes that curse. So we're going to jump into the lesson, and we're going to continue to, you know, keep the wheel turning. So let's pick it up at Amos chapter 3. Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. When you get it, go ahead and read, brother.
Hear this word that the Lord have spoken against you, O children of Israel.
So the Lord is speaking right here. He's speaking his word to the children of Israel, and he's telling these people to hear. Keep reading.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore,
all the families of the earth you have I known. Yeah, there's been like many other families out there that the Lord has known, but this is just one family that the Lord has taken up under his covenant. You know, all the families, all the nations of the earth, they haven't taken part of the Lord's covenant. But this nation of people, they are a covenant unto the Lord. But keep reading though, brother.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So he's going to punish you for all your iniquities because you know better. In other words, we ain't supposed to be out here sinning, committing adultery, and doing all these things that's of the world. You know, we supposed to be a light into the world. But you know, we leading the world in wickedness. You know, every time I stand up and I hear Jake's talking about the white man this, the white man that, the white man wicked, we the ones that taught the white man wickedness. So how can we always ramp on them? You know, we the one that dropped the ball. So hadn't we dropped the ball, then the world wouldn't be at a discourse that it's at right now. So what we got to do is we got to take accountability for our actions. But the Lord just said right here, of all the families of the earth have I known. For you, I'm going to punish you for all your iniquities. So when you think you finna get over, thinking that you should apparently get a pass on something, the Lord going to deal with you because of the fact that you are supposed to be a light into this world. So let's move a little further. Let's go over here to Deuteronomy. And let's see some of these curses. Because, you know, I was on looking at this little documentary a little earlier today. It's called Rabbit Fence. And it's actually talking about, you know, slavery that was taking place over there in Australia. You know what I mean? And how, you know, we've been up under the sword for years, sisters and brothers. This ain't nothing new. But even with this documentary, it also line up with these scriptures that we about to read. You know, even when we was brought over here in captivity, these scriptures is going to identify us being in captivity. But we was brought into captivity because of our rebelliousness. So let's pick it up at Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. Go ahead and read, brother.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I have commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all these curses are going to come upon thee and overtake thee. You know, when we start at 28 and verse 1, that's talking about the blessing. But we know as a nation, as a whole, we are up under a curse. Because we decided to fall off the plan of salvation. We decided to dibble and dabble in, you know, Baal's doctrine or Astro doctrine or all these other doctrines we decided to dibble dabble in. So that is why we picked it up at verse 15, because this is going to identify these people. Skip down. Well, I'm sorry. Keep reading, brother.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So in the city and the field, we're going to be cursed. No matter where we go, what rock we up under, wherever, what hole we hide under, we are going to be cursed. Keep reading, brother.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
So cursed going to be your money and your store.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
So curse the fruit of thy body, your money and your store. So when you go off in our communities as a black nation, we don't see our people running these convenience stores. We don't. We see the Ishmaelite or we see the Hamites. That's who's setting us shop in our communities. You know, you don't see Israel prospering. Yeah, we got people in the NBA or people in the NFL or, you know, people hacking. That ain't prospering. But keep reading though, brother. Skip down to verse 28. Go ahead.
Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
So you're going to be smite with madness and blindness of heart. You know, them NBA players and them football players, when I say that ain't prospering, because that money going to run short. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, your stock going to be in the word of God. So that's why I say they ain't prospering, because that's temporal. That's for the eyes, for the appealing of eyes, or to be that outward appearance. That's what that's for. But we want to make sure our stock is laid up in the word of God. So that's why he said in verse 28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment at heart. These people are always mad. We are blind and astonished at heart. Keep reading, brother.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
So we're going to grope at noonday, just like the blind man grope in darkness. It's bright outside, but we are groping. That is spiritually blind, sisters and brothers. We can't see what's going on. We are headed straight for destruction, and what can save us is actually turning back to the book. But Israel as a nation, we are groping. Keep reading, brother.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
So we are going to be oppressed and spoiled evermore. We are oppressed up under these false teachers, sisters and brothers. This is how we are oppressed, because we sit up under this doctrine of devil. You know, this doctrine has got us deviated from the path of salvation, because we are only oppressed. You know, I was dealing with a sister back at home in Florida, and, you know, she was saying that Bible is the white man. You know, that's the white man Bible. That you are oppressed. How am I oppressed, sister? Because the white man told you to keep Christmas. You know, the white man told you to celebrate Easter. You're going to read in 1 Corinthians, Gentiles sacrifice unto devils. So you are the one that's oppressed, because you are up under a Gentile doctrine. So the only one that is oppressed is the only one that is following the doctrine of devils. But keep reading though, brother.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
So you're going to betroth the wife. This happened in slavery. You know, we had wives, but the slave master laid with her. That's where you get your mulatto from. Because it took place then, it's happening today. You know, it's just more consensual now. But back then, it was by force. You know, you betrothed the wife, and you thought that was your possession. But the master came in and took that weed. Keep reading though, brother.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
So you building this house and you ain't even gonna dwell in it. Ain't that something? You don't put all your hard work, Israel, into building a home and somebody else laying in it. Keep reading though, brother.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes.
So you ain't even gathering the grapes of your vineyard. You ain't even, the fruits of thy labor. You ain't even eating in your own labor. Because somebody else is eating off your labor. As, you ride from here to Florida, you'll see all these cotton fields. Those are the plantations that we were set up on. We was out in the field gathering the grapes or gathering the corn, and another man was prospering. But skip down to verse 37. Go ahead and read, brother.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So you're going to be a proverb and a byword. That's all them little names, them little pet names that they don't gave us. Nigger, Negro, African American, coon, Sambo, watermelon eater. All these names sit on us, Israel. But you're going to be a proverb and a byword. You are an astonishment. I remember when I was in JUCO in Mississippi, and me and my teammates used to go into Walmart. Everybody used to stop in amazement, like they was in a zoo looking at animals. But people was astonished at some big bucks. That's what they called us. But they was astonished because we was an amusement unto other nations. But the book just said, you're going to be a proverb and a byword. You're going to be an astonishment. This is today, sisters and brothers. We are still an astonishment today. Keep reading, though, brother. No, skip down to verse 43. Go ahead and read.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and shall come down very low.
And the stranger or other nations are going to get up above us very high, and we are going to be very low. That's why we are a base nation. We sit at the bottom of every category. If you want to give us something dealing with sports and entertainment, that's still the bottom. But as a nation, we sit at the bottom of every category, brothers and sisters. Yeah, this Black History Month, and hey, if Israel want to tune in and find out about their history, you tuning in the right time. This is the history that you want to embark upon. But keep reading though, brother.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
So people gonna be lending to us. We ain't gonna be able to lend to them because we ain't in a position to lend to people. We're always the borrower. We're the tail and never the head. Keep reading though, brother.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
So we the tail, and all the other nations are the head. We can never come up in this society, sisters and brothers. Never. Because these are the curses that are riding us to death. These are those curses, sisters and brothers. You go inside Deuteronomy 28, these curses will identify people to a T. But let's keep reading though, brother. Go ahead.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearken not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
That's why we are up under these curses, because we didn't hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. To do what?
To keep his commandments.
To keep his commandments. That's what he told us. To keep his commandments, sisters and brothers. This is why these curses sit on top of us. Yeah, we got Israel as a small that are serving the true and living God to the best of their ability according to how it is written. So that's why he said he's going to be a little sanctuary unto those. But as a nation, as a 12 or 14% of this population, we are under the sword. But keep reading though, brother.
to keep his commandments and his statutes,
Go ahead.
which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
And this is how you're going to know these people, because it is upon us for a sign and a wonder. This is how you're going to identify Israel. And when you look around, when you look at the news, you see Israel. People gathering together in the convenience stores, they laughing about Israel. Oh, you heard about what happened on the news about this Jake? You know how he got shot down? And his killer got Israel. These are signs and wonders, and this is how you're going to know this people. So keep reading though, brother.
And upon thy seed forever.
And this is going to be upon your seed forever until Jesus returns. But if you turn unto the Lord and submit yourselves into the will of God, then these curses will come up off you just a little bit. Skip down to verse 64, brother.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And we're going to serve other gods, and we're going to be scattered. You know, all these curses I just read, how can you call the ones in Israel, Israel? How can you call them that? They are prosperous. You know, when you go back over to verse 44, we are lending to them because they own all your Wells Fargos. They own all your Bank of Americas. They are owners of every NBA team that you look at. They are owners of NFL teams. They got a fat of this land, sisters and brothers. So how is it that they are the ones of the book? Because what I just read, none of these curses don't sit on none of them. Even in their Torah, this is written. So what I'm saying is, like, the Bible is in plain view. It is right here in front of us. But keep reading though, brother.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
So our fathers didn't know Christmas or the winter solstice. Our fathers didn't know sun god Ra, which is the worship of the sun. Our fathers didn't know Easter, you know, or St. Valentine's. Our fathers didn't know those gods. But these are the gods that we're serving because we are in captivity. These are the gods that we have taken upon our worship. And that's why we are in captivity. But keep reading though, brother.
Even wood and stone.
Go ahead.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall thy sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Go ahead.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
And our life is going to hang in doubt before these sisters and brothers. We are hanging in doubt. You know, you after Trayvon Martin got killed, you can go and ask 10 little kids, you know, maybe 10 or 8 years old, who they feel. They'll say the white man. So they feel it's laying in doubt. So even as you continue to grow up, you know, you come to 2014, you know, you had Mike Brown just got killed. And you ask these same kids, they still gonna be in fear of the white man. But they fear need to be set towards God, because God, the one that allowed. Because if our forefathers had been serving these gods of wood and stone, then we wouldn't be up under this condition. But due to that, these are the consequences that we are suffering. Keep reading though, brother.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
Drop down to verse 68. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord is going to bring Israel into Egypt again with ships. He said again because he ain't talking about the Egypt of Exodus. He said again because this is going to walk you all the way up to the transatlantic slave trade. Keep reading, brother.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So you ain't going to see That Egypt no more again when the Lord parted the Red Sea and Israel walked out of it. You ain't going to see that again. That's what he's saying right here. Go ahead, brother.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
That's a male slave and a female slave. And no man ain't going to save you. That means nobody ain't going to buy you or get you up out of this condition. How can somebody write this book? That's what people always have. That's their reasoning. A man wrote, how did a man prophesy that Israel going to come into captivity before transatlantic slave trade even came into an existence? How? That's impossible to me. No man could have prophesied this way before it happened. That's why I say this book stands alone, brothers and sisters. But these are these curses that sit up on these people. Let's move a little further. Let's go over here to John chapter 8. These are these curses, brothers and sisters. And whether you believe it or not, we are still up under the curse. We just went from physical chains. Now we finna go to spiritual chains. John chapter 8, and pick it up at verse 30. When you get it, go ahead and read, brother.
As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him.
So before we get to this point, Jesus dealing with the Pharisees or your church people. That's like today. You know, he dealing with these people because the Lord said, you're going to die in your sin when I return. If you continue. Now let's pick it up at verse 30. Go ahead, brother.
If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So the truth is going to make you free. But this went right over their heads, sisters and brothers. I mean, completely over their head. Because they actually talking about, they literally thinking he's talking about physically free. But keep reading though, brother. Verse 33. Go ahead.
They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and we're never in bondage to any man.
So the Pharisees say, we never in bondage to any man. We Abraham's seed. They in bondage right now because Rome is in rule right now. But that's just like today. You know, you can go and ask a Jake, man, you still in captivity. They'll simply be like, no, I'm not. Oh, you not? Take your tag off the back of your car and ride around and see what happens. Get caught without a driver license and see what happens. Even ride around with a concealed weapon in your vehicle without a license and see what happens. But the Pharisees, they still got the same mindset so far till today. Because they talking about, we ain't in captivity, we Abraham's seed. You're in captivity to the Romans. But then at the same time, Jesus talking about the truth, which is the word of God, is what's going to set you free. So therefore, that meant you can still be in bondage or captivity in your mind. The Pharisees right here is in captivity in the mind. Let's move a little further though. We're gonna scratch that. Let's go over here to I got it. Jeremiah 29. Jeremiah 29 and verse 8. Jeremiah 29 and 20, verse 8. Because we still in captivity today, sisters and brothers, whether it be physically or spiritually. You don't want to be like the angels that's going to be hidden in the chain, that's in the chains of darkness. You know, because at the point that we're looking at right now, we are in chains of darkness because our minds is full of the darkness. So Jeremiah 29, and pick it up at verse 8. When you get it, go ahead and read, brother.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams, which ye cause to be dreams. They prophesy falsely unto you in my name.
And that's just like today, all these false prophets, they prophesying falsely in the name of the Lord. But keep reading though, brother.
I have not sent them, saith the Lord.
The Lord said he didn't send these false prophets because they are lying on him. Skip down to verse 17. Go ahead and read, brother.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten.
They cannot be eaten because they're going to be vile figs. The Lord said he's going to send a sword and pestilence upon these people. This right here is talking about Israel going into captivity under Nebuchadnezzar, but we still up under this same pestilence. We are still up under this same sword, and we are still a vile fig that cannot be eaten. Why are we a vile fig? Read.
They are so evil.
We are so evil. But we always point the finger at the white man. The Lord said, we are a vile fig tree, and we are so evil. Keep reading, brother.
And I will persecute them with the sword, with the famine, with the pestilence, and will deliver them to be removed to all the kingdom of the earth, to be a curse and an astonishment and an hissing and a reproach among all the nations whither I have driven them.
So we're going to be a curse and an astonishment and a hissing. You know, we're going to be talked about. You know, because we are a rebellious nation of people. But keep reading though, brother.
Because they have not hearkened to my word, saith the Lord, which I have sent unto them by my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, but ye would not hear.
So they wouldn't hear. That's today. Brother like me or brother like him bring the word of God to somebody. Man, I don't need that book in order how to deal with God. Yes, you do. But the Lord just said, even in the days of, Zedekiah, sending them prophets, prophesying to them in the name of the Lord, and they did not want to hear. Keep reading, brother.
Saith the Lord, hear ye therefore the word of the Lord, all ye of the captivity, whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babylon. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, of Ahab, the son of Kaliah, and of Zedekiah, the son of Maashiah, which prophesied a lie unto you in my name.
See, we had kings in this time, over Israel, and they was prophesying in the name of the Lord lying. But that's today. We got the TD Jakes. They are prophesying in the name of the Lord lying. You got the Creflos. They are lying. You got all these Jakes set up under somebody's church, and they are lying on the Lord. So the same spirit that occurred right here is today, brothers and sisters. Has nothing changed. Like the brother was saying, you can ride a strip maybe 10 miles, and you'll see a church set up every 3 to 4 mile radius. That's letting you know that these people got a zeal, but not according to knowledge. So let's move a little further. Let's scratch that. Let's go over here to Hosea. Hosea chapter 4. I'm riding. I'm gonna stop at my turn.
It's all you.
Oh, okay.
You can last one.
Oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Hosea chapter 4. And pick it up at verse 1.
And it came to pass, when all the people were clean, passed over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, take you 12 men out of the people.
Hosea?
Oh, that's Joshua.
Yeah, Hosea chapter 4. And again, brothers and sisters, we dealing with Israel nation from physical change to spiritual change. As we read the word of God, Israel been in captivity physically for a long time. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of Jakes talking about, 400 years of captivity here in America. Man, they talking about 400 years in Egypt, what you read out the Bible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But then if you want to say we've been here in America for 100, okay, that's 800 years. I'm pretty sure it's longer than that, though. Mm-hmm. So in other words, we've been in captivity for a minute, brothers and sisters. And the reason why is because we didn't want to obey God, and we are doing the same foolishness today. The same foolishness. You know, but we crying out to the Lord today, just like in Egypt. You know, they had the rally in Iowa, Missouri. You know what I mean, about the brother who got shot down. They rallying, but crying out to the Lord, but they rallying not in the name of the Lord. How's that? Huh?
After that.
Yeah, after that. Okay. It's that way. But yeah, they rallying, but I look at them brothers who got killed, man. Like, I hate to say it, but Trayvon Martin got killed on the Sabbath. You know what I mean? Like, Mike Brown got killed on the Sabbath.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So let's read this right quick. Go ahead, Hosea 4:1. Go ahead.
Here's the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
So it ain't no mercy or no truth in this land today, brothers and sisters. No truth. You got men marrying men, women marrying women. You know what I mean? It's okay for a brother to sleep with another woman's wife. It's okay for somebody to go and rob a 7-Eleven. It ain't no truth in this land. But keep reading though, brother.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood and toucheth the blood.
And this is Israel. Skip down to verse 5 and read.
Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee.
So the prophet gonna fall in the day. The children of Israel as a nation gonna fall in the day. Who else gonna fall?
In the night, and I will destroy thy mother.
So all of Israel gonna fall. But keep reading though, brother.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
And this is why Israel is being destroyed, because we lack knowledge. God's knowledge, not man's knowledge, because the wisdom of man is foolish unto God. You know, man will tell you that, you know, it's okay to eat whatever you want, just pray on it. That's what man will tell you. So we ain't talking about man's knowledge, we talking about God's knowledge, and this is why Israel is being destroyed, because they lack this knowledge. But keep reading though, brother.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me.
So you ain't gonna be no priest unto the Lord, and he gonna reject you. Just like you rejected the Lord, he gonna reject you. And who else he gonna reject? Go ahead.
Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
So he gonna forget your children. Not just you, he gonna forget your little ones too. So we should listen to this and realize, you know, when the Lord is marking at our calamity, or when we praying unto the Lord when our children have been shot down in the streets, we need to realize is the Lord has forsaken our children because we forsaken him. Keep reading verse 7.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
So their glory is going to be changed into shame. You know, when you look at these people, we are a shameful nation. We are pity the fool. Keep reading. I'm sorry, skip down. That's it on that. Let's move over here to Romans. Romans chapter 10. Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. You know, we are pity the fool because, you know, we forsake our God, man. You gotta realize, man, we got the Most High on our side. If we only understood that, we might want to start teaching a little bit of truth. Not a little bit of truth, all truth. But go ahead, Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. Go ahead and read, brother.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel.
So even Paul, you know, his heart is, you know, desire and prayer to God for Israel. But go ahead, brother.
That they might be saved.
That they might be saved. Go ahead.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
Not according to knowledge. They got a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. You know, like I said, you go 20 miles, you'll see a church set up on every corner. So that's letting you know that Israel got a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Had we had knowledge, man, we'll be off the chain. Seriously. You know, I was reading a little article dealing with black churches, and it's telling that Israel, we make up a small percentage as a population, but yet 89% of us feel that religion is the way. You know, it's a little pie chart that they got where like 89% now is the way. That's outweighing people that's outweighing nations as a whole. That's just letting you know the zeal that we got. The zeal we got, but not according to knowledge. Go ahead, verse 3.
They being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness.
So we going about to establish our own righteousness. You know, we are being ignorant of God's righteousness. God's righteousness is thou shalt not steal. You know, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not eat anything you want and pray on. But go ahead, brother.
Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
And they have not submitted themselves into the righteousness of God. Let's go to the last place. Let's go over here to Matthew. Matthew chapter 8. They have not submitted themselves into the righteousness of God. And that's today, brothers and sisters. You know, these curses that we just ran through, identify these people to the exact T. Because we have not today submitted to the righteousness of God. So let's go over to Matthew chapter 8, and let's pick it up at verse 10. And this Jesus, you know, a centurion, you know, he told Jesus, you know, to bless my soldier or to bless one of my servants. And Jesus was like, well, I'll be to your house. But he was like, no, you ain't even got to come, just say the word. And Jesus said, I have not found faith nowhere in Israel. But listen to what Jesus is going to say right here in verse 10. Go ahead.
When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel.
Verse 11, go ahead.
And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven.
Verse 12, go ahead.
But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of the teeth.
And there shall be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. The children of the kingdom is Israel. We're going to be cast out into outer darkness. We're not talking about all of Israel. We're talking about a big percentage of Israel. Because a big percentage of Israel is off. A big percentage of Israel is going contrary to the word of God. But many other nations are going to come up under Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But like the book just said, Israel is going to be cast into outer darkness. That's the lake of fire, sisters and brothers. So I thank you for your time, Bible in plain view. I pray that somebody got some understanding in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Good job, Brother DeMarcus. You was on fire over there.